Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Crypto Space. In today's video, we are going to cover KASPA, its recent price action, a couple of interesting news for KASPA, and of course, a couple of interesting charts for altcoins as well. So if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and a quick disclaimer that this video isn't a financial advice and you should do your own due diligence and research before investing into any crypto project. And now, without any further ado, let's hop into KASPA itself. So as we can see over here, KASPA is trading at 16 cents of a dollar and it saw 0.3% of pump in the last 24 hours. So first of all, what a beautiful times to be in KASPA, guys. That's the first thing. And now let's have a look at the market cap. Market cap is currently sitting at $3.7 billion and 24-hour trading volume is sitting at 94.5 million USD. So as we can see over here on that 24-hourly time frame, KASPA obviously is trading sideways. However, if I'm going to click on a 7 days, we can clearly see what KASPA is doing. And obviously KASPA is doing great, but of course that is just a beginning. But all right, let's have a look at Twitter first. The first things first, Saturday's top tweeted altcoins. KASPA is at #1. So this is very good in my opinion. More and more people are basically researching for alts to invest, and obviously the biggest interest at the moment at least is KASPA, and hopefully that is going to stay for a while. All right. So let's have a look on this interesting chart over here. So that's made by Miko Geno. First of all, shout out to him on Twitter, or X, however you want to call it. And as we can see over here, his predictions are basically $100 May 2032 and $1,000 in November 2039. So that's going to be around, we are in the year 2024, 6. So that's going to be 15 years time pretty much with seeing such huge prices for KASPA. Let me know down and below in the comments what do you think about this type of price prediction. But all right, let's have a look at this different type of a news. So combining KASPA with people's passion for sports is a win-win. It lowers the barrier to entry by connecting something complex and now like cryptocurrency to do something comfortable that people already trust, like an athlete or their favorite sports. So to my understanding, basically, KASPA is basically being adopted by these huge events around the world, like, for example, surfing and stuff like that, whatever they are doing in Vietnam. No, that's actually kiteboarding. So that is really good because people who are basically having nothing to do with crypto and they might not even know what crypto is, basically they are going to deal with their activities and they discover cryptocurrency that way. So in my opinion, this is very good because KASPA is getting bigger and bigger adoption, and of course it's basically being in front of more and more eyeballs that is not necessarily into crypto, or at least yet. So this is a very good piece of news, at least to me. And now let's have a look at this comparison over here. So as we can see over here, Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin is Bitcoin, 1 block per 10 minutes. Cardano, obviously slow, and Solana, it is fast. However, in comparison with KASPA, 10 blocks per second, that is obviously slower. But if that 100 blocks per second is going to come into KASPA, that is going to be revolutionary. That's going to be very fast. That's something to look out for too. And now let's have a look at this thing over here. This is something that I have showed to you guys before, but I would like to point it out one more time, okay? Because I was thinking about it, and of course Solana is good, Ethereum, BTC and all of that, but the only thing that KASPA has and only Bitcoin has is fair lunch. I do believe this is very important in a crypto project because probability of being dumped is very, very low over here. Everybody have pretty much opportunity to get rich and not being affected by any potential manipulation. Of course, we can see some sort of manipulation with BTC even, but obviously that's due to the news. And I believe this is very important for KASPA, the fair lunch. All right, so let's have a look now over here at the numbers. So current reward for KASPA is 131, and next one is going to be 123, and it's scheduled in the next 17 days. So if we are going to look over here, first things first, address is holding 100 plus KASPA. That is very important because as we can see over here, more and more people are accumulating over here, same as 1+ million KASPA. That of course is showing as well the belief in the project. This is very big, 10 million plus KASPA. And here, 100+ million, we got our whales. So as we can see over here, whoever holds these KASPAs, these are only 11 addresses. So these are our whales basically, and over here we got 245. So I do believe that these numbers are pretty much okay. And now let's have a look at the chart finally, right? So we saw these beautiful all-time highs for KASPA, and as I was saying in the previous updates, we broke above that two resistance lines over here, and of course we broke the all-time high, and we are currently experiencing new all-time high, and it looks like we are being pushed down on a daily. So am I worried? No, I'm not worried. I do still believe that KASPA is going to see a higher upside potential. However, let's have a look how much that could possibly be, right? So if we are going to look at RSI first of all, KASPA is basically respecting that RSI level all the time. So I allow myself to draw a resistance over here on RSI. And as we can see over here, we are flipping green on RSI, of course, and we are currently sitting at 78. However, if I'm going to take measuring tool from these current levels to previous levels, that's going to be around, let's say 15%. And as you can see over here, when I'm zooming out, KASPA always respect that trend line over here, resistance on RSI. So if I'm going to basically take the measuring tool from where we are now and draw that roughly 15%, that could put KASPA potentially at that 18, anything between 18 and 20 cents of a dollar. So pretty much the same as I was saying in the previous updates. But all right, let's have a look at BTC, because obviously it also depends what BTC is doing. KASPA chart is very, very similar. So as we can see over here, BTC is being rejected on a daily at the resistance level of 52,349 roughly. And as we can see over here, this is very important resistance level for BTC, because obviously we've got confirmations over here, right? And we've got confirmations over here that are leading us back to the previous bull cycle. And of course we are going to have this last time pretty much resistance over here. These are all-time highs for BTC, right? So what do I believe that might happen? I do believe that we are going to see a little bit of dump on Bitcoin. I would say not even dump, to being honest. I would say, in my opinion, not a financial advice, of course, just a little bit of cool off before that halvening, and then we are going to obviously see a full-blown bull cycle. Of course, that might not happen. I could be wrong, right? However, if we are going to look at KASPA over here, and if I'm going to, let's say, do 3 months, and if I'm going to compare it to BTC, as we can see over here, these charts are pretty much very, very similar. So obviously that's very important to look out of what BTC is doing, right? It could definitely see a little bit of cool off before that halvening, as it was experiencing in the previous bull cycles. However, that could not necessarily happen. I do believe that every single pullback could be bought up very quickly because of that ETF money, that old money that is coming into the market. So I wouldn't really be bearish on crypto, obviously on KASPA right now. And I do believe that this is still good time to buy. Not a financial advice, because definitely KASPA's price is going to see a much higher numbers in the coming months. But all right, if you guys would be interested into keeping your KASPA safe outside of exchanges, I would highly recommend a Tangent wallet. As we know, everything might happen on exchanges. They could be hacked anytime. And as you can see over here, these cards are pretty much cool. They are in the size of a credit card, and they are definitely safer option to store your crypto, your KASPA, outside of exchange. So if you are going to type, let me find it over here. If you are going to type my code over here, crypto space with capital letters, you're going to get 10% of a discount. So I do believe this is a great deal. And obviously you do have two options. You can have 2 cards or 3 card set. It's totally up to you. I personally do have 2 card set, which I'm very happy with. But all right, let's have a look finally at altcoins and a couple of charts too. So the first thing, we have flipped green on the Gaussian channel, and obviously that's going on for a while now. However, as we can see over here, we are at the beginning of that green flip. So obviously we still do have time to take our profits. And now if we are going to look at this altcoin market cap over here, that's basically Wyckoff accumulation. We are entering phase D, exiting phase D and entering phase E, which is going to be the parabola. Of course, we might see a little bit of pullback, as I was saying. However, I don't believe that's going to be long-lived pullback, if we will experience any. And now let's have a look at this chart over here. So altcoins are about to explode. Let's firstly go to the previous bull cycle. In 2015-2016, as we can see over here, once we broke out of the Wyckoff accumulation, we had the first breakout, which obviously we have already experienced. Then we had the second breakout and then the huge parabola, right? So as we can see over here on the previous bull cycle, 2020-2021, we basically had the same thing. The first breakout above Wyckoff accumulation, then the second breakout, and then the pump, right? Obviously that pump wasn't as huge as the previous one. However, I do believe that this one isn't necessarily going to be huge either. However, that is still going to generate huge profits in my opinion. So as we can see over here, the first breakout, and we are on the way to the second breakout, and then possibly 6 trillion market cap for altcoins. Of course, that is just estimate, my estimate, and based on every single chart that I saw on Twitter and everywhere else, I do believe that this is definitely possible for altcoins, given the fact that so much of money is flowing into BTC right now due to ETF, and of course the FOMO is going to kick in, etc. All right, so let's have a look at this over here to kind of put ourselves into perspective of where we are in this bull cycle. This is very important in my opinion. So as we can see over here, we are basically entering that phase D, right? Sorry, D, let me go back. Phase E, my bad. Okay, so we are basically entering that phase E right now, and we are going to see that parabola over here. So make sure that every single time you take out your profits, okay, this is very important, 20, 30, whatever percent you are feeling comfortable with and happy with, instead of waiting for that all-time high and selling over here, because it's very difficult, right? However, that chart basically is allowing us to kind of understand of where we are, which I believe is a great chart, and shout out to the Scalping Pro on Twitter. And of course, guys, make sure that you don't spend your profits for the fast car, because another bull cycle is going to come in years later. All right, then that's it for today's video. Hope that you have enjoyed that quick KASPA update, and I wish you have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. All right, peace and love, crypto.